off, Team Skeptic. On it. You've definitely commented on a few of my videos.
I know you guys.
But I'm here as friendly opposition, just to have a conversation and get a new point of view on things. Definitely not trying to troll anybody or do anything.
It's absolutely all right.
Well, I just want to be transparent up front because I've tried to be that way with anybody I've spoken
The fact
with
that you're here, you already scored points with me. So,
well, I appreciate it. The main thing I want to talk to you about was kind of the state of the flat Earth right now. As somebody who actually spends a lot of time watching flat Earth videos, I'm seeing less and less of the more popular flat Earthers putting out videos and a little bit lower quality of the content. I'm not saying necessarily the recording quality, just the quality of the material being put out in the presentation. Do you ever see flat Earth making a comeback?
that is a loaded question.
Well, I really want to get the.
Well, no, because you're assuming that it's in decline. It's kind of like asking me.
You're right.
Why don't you still beat your wife? Type of thing.
No. I agree with that. I guess it's more from my personal opinion. Do you
I know.
also...
For you, yes. When you're part of what you do is you go after flat Earth videos. They're online. So of course, in your case, you're absolutely right. If there's less to attack or the quality isn't as good, of course, the amount of content, really hard. How much solid content can we put out in 5 years without some sort of pullback?
You're right. I guess what my thing is that over the years there's been an increased interest in the flat Earth from non-flat Earthers.
Sure.
So, I'll definitely accept that fact that the attention for flat Earth has gone up, but at the time there were a lot of higher quality videos. And when I say higher quality, I mean like the information that was being presented to somebody who was not a flat Earther was more informative. Now you have more of you just have more of like your Daniel Pratts that are really not out there trying to really prove anything. Like they're being more of aggressive. They're not really trying to present it. I feel like your videos, and I've never done a video on you yet. I covered the Behind the Curve documentary.
Oh, me now.
I covered the Behind the Curve documentary, but I've never done a video on you yet. But I have seen your videos, and I believe that your videos have more of an informative approach to someone who's not a flat earther.
Right.
So I would really like to see, even though it is coming from a point of an anti-flat earth or a flat earth debunker, I would really still like to see more quality content coming from the community. I mean, it's good for me, but
I was about to say, I get it. You're actually complaining because we're not giving you enough ammunition to targets to hit at.
That's one way of looking at it. But it's also trying to have a non-biased approach to say that there really is less information being put out on YouTube. And it's YouTube.
No, you got a point. Thing. Well, yeah, I mean, when the congressional, I won't call it a hearing, went down when they were going after fake news. Yeah, we knew there was going to be a problem. When Google told the government, it said, look, we're going to be recommending flat earth videos less and less. You're absolutely right. And part of that was the fact, it was a combination of two things. One was when they recommended less and less, yes, the revenue streams of anyone that was making flat earth videos went down probably by 60%.
I felt it too.
Oh yeah,
I felt it too.
Rob Skiba, hell, he even gave out hard numbers. He's going, look, this is what I used to make up from YouTube. I was remarkably transparent. And this is what I now make. And it happened to me and a whole bunch of but yes, people even criticizing flat earth videos would go after that. You combine that with the amount of massive verified channels that started covering flat earth. So if you have a channel that has 1 million subs and all of a sudden you make a flat earth video, then all of a sudden, boom.
That frustrates me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but what did you think was going to happen? I mean, even our guys complain about it, but it's like, look, if you have 1 million subs, you get a higher pecking order.
Yeah.
There's no way, it'd be silly to say that that should be higher on the list because we have more flat earth videos than someone that has 1 million subs that just made. Shane Dawson, for God's sakes, he's got 6 million subs and he made a flat earth video that has 32 million things. Yeah, because they combine the two, but yeah, most of the channels back up. So when you type in flat earth and you just do a generic search, the first 50 videos are all heavy videos.
Yeah.
On top of that, flat earth has now entered some different stage. I mean, like this year, for example, no, I'm not making as many flat earth videos. One, because when I initially made the flat earth clues, it was really, really fun and a lot of fun to make. but I didn't get a lot of clamoring to make more clues because people were doing other things. Yeah, there's people doing the regular shows, and you know what they are. You know, Glowbusters and Jarod.
And you're doing a lot more live interviews. So your time is being taken away from creation of content
on top of
to be
this year
live for interviews and conferences like these.
Absolutely. This year, my attention, there's only so much time in the day. I was diverted into doing more interviews. Okay, after Behind the Curve, I'll mention it. I don't mind saying it. After Behind the Curve, when the 12-year-old kid was asking me questions on stage, and the director was really upset about that, even though he left it in the film, at least half of my interviews over the last 9 months have been in schools, kids under 20. I mean, everything from universities to high schools to middle schools, which just blows my mind. You combine that with the fact that I had to get a book ready for the conference. It's like, oh, we want to give out the book, for the conference. Like, okay, we gotta get the book out for the conference, and then we were on tour this year. I mean, I've done, like, this is the end of our season, right? This is the last conference of the year. Before this, I did Los Angeles, Calgary, UK, Stockholm, Auckland, South Carolina, and there were 3 or 4 others I wasn't even invited to because I'm not biblical enough. Which is a whole nother thing. I mean, I don't quote. That's scary enough. It's like I don't quote enough chapter and verse to be included in some of these conferences. Combine all that, there's only so much content I can put out. Everybody else is trying though. I mean, the regulars, the beats, the heartbeats are still there. Glowbuster's still doing his thing. Jarod is doing his thing. David Weiss is really up and coming. During the award show, I think he's going to win like 4 or 5 awards. It's his year. He got on InfoWars with Alex Jones. And
that's a big thing for you guys because he pushes a lot of those fringe ideas. And even though like it might not be fringe to a flat earther, to the globe earthers, it is considered a fringe idea. So maybe the InfoWars involvement in that will help the movement of flat earth at least get a little bit more viability in the in the media.
Oh yeah, I mean the conspiracy world. Even though Alex Jones is very controversial in his own right, and half the people think that he's not real, and everybody knows the persona he puts on, whether or not you like him. Is his persona. I mean, he said that in his divorce settlement because he was trying to save his kids. It's like, look, I get all the history and blah, blah, blah. Because that's what people like. They like, it's like Alex Jones' outrage is legendary, and that's what gets him viewers. But the combination, if you believe in things for a reason, the combination of him, Eddie Bravo, sitting next to him, baked out of his mind. And the reason why we even got that interview is because Owen Benjamin knows the producer.
That's another person on board.
Owen Benjamin, who's controversial in his own right, because 50% of the members in Flat Earth are hardcore Christians. And a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but enough of them didn't even know Owen's material, including our own MC.
Another point that I want to point out that I really think is something that may actually revitalize the Flat Earth and I'm talking about, when I say that, I'm saying from the censorship point of view.
Sure.
Because Google, I can admit this because I'm feeling it too. Google does censor that topic.
Yes, they do.
If you go on Bing and you search Bing and you type Flat Earth, you find Flat Earth videos. Right. You go on Google and you type Flat Earth, you don't. Right. And I'm very aware of that. I'm not going to be intellectually dishonest and go, no, it's not happening. Right. No, it's happening.
Right. Basically, again, not delete Flat Earth videos, but not recommend it. It's like, to make sure it's never going to be recommended for you on the right-hand side. And that was the big change, by the way, which was, I know you say censorship, and it's like, kind of. You gotta remember that Flat Earth promoted us basically with reckless abandon for the first 3 years. Absolutely. It's like recommended for you all the time. Yeah. There was a wonderful article, you probably heard me say this, there was a Google programmer that was asked how things get recommended to you, why things get recommended to you on the right-hand side. And of all the thousands of topics he brought up one. He says, well, the average person that gets into Flat Earth watches 20 videos in a row. What do you think we're going to recommend?
Yeah.
And then when Congress stepped in, it's like, no, it's not. It's, look, all the channels are still here. It's not like Jarod's channel's been shut down. Nobody's channel's been shut down, but you're absolutely right. They have been recommended less. Now, if they shift their attention to somebody else, will that let Flat Earth back into it? Maybe.
I think it is. I think it will, just because I think that the whole purpose of them censoring it to begin with was not to censor it from adults who are held accountable for their thoughts and their critical thinking skills. And now that we're going to be taking stuff away from children, taking it away from that whole group, I don't think that they're going to focus on it. I hope. I'm a freedom of speech guy, 100%. Sure. I don't care what your message is. The crazies, here's what I'd say. Let them talk so we can identify them.
Sure.
You know? Not saying that every flat earther is crazy, but I'm saying that's my position on everybody.
Right.
Let him talk so we can see what he's all about.
Right.
We can make our opinion accordingly.
Right.
Now, my last question is more of a question about Patricia Steer. Because
Everybody asks me about her.
As a member of the Globe community, I thought she caught the raw end of the stick from the other flat earthers. The way they approached her, the way they talked about her, it was atrocious. It was completely uncalled for. I'll never support anybody, no matter what their beliefs are, to talk about someone else like that, especially someone that was trying to step away for personal reasons or just because she needed to. Whatever the case may be, it's nobody else's business.
Right.
And they really gave her a hard time. And I know you know who I'm talking about with super rats and whatnot. But
No, I'll ask anything you want.
But I just want to make sure she's doing okay and that she's in a good place. And that's it. It comes from a sincere.
No, that's good. She and I haven't spoken for a little while because she's still bent out of shape about the whole Denver thing last year where I walked out on Logan Paul and I ruined her award show. Because she and I were close, but she wanted exclusive rights to it, which is interesting. She wanted the final say so on me leaving, and it's like no, because you wouldn't stop me. And I could look. I'm leaving. I had to make sure that Logan, people knew what I was doing. Don't ever have to worry about Patricia. Okay. Patricia is one of those women that she has certain levels, dials on her buttons that are turned up to 11. Grace, elegance, style, and beauty.
Yeah.
She's independently wealthy. She's beautiful. And she's got a good head on her shoulders. She wakes up every day. Before she got into Flat Earth, her days was like, look, wakes up, puts herself together, takes her Mercedes to Starbucks, buys Starbucks, goes to a boutique shop, goes to Mani Pedi, gets another Starbucks, goes home, rinse and repeat. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I mean, she'll be fine. Well, the people that are still in contact with her right now, as just very, very recently, she's absolutely good. Now, you're absolutely right. The behavior of some of the flat earthers was just as bad as the trolls, if not worse. Yeah. In fact, Antonio, he and I have never met personally. I hope we never do, because it's like, look, I get it. She broke up with you, but you don't take it that step. Yes, there's all sorts of guys when you break up with them. Their ego gets hurt, and it's like, oh, she was a bitch. Oh, she was crazy. Or the worst case scenario, oh, she was a lesbian. But no, he went the whole other way. It's like, no, she was a guy. Yeah. And it's like, weren't you engaged to her? Wasn't she living with you for months? Yeah. So yeah, it was awful. The article that Noel wrote was a little flowery, but it was good enough, and it was her story. But Patricia will be fine. If anyone, she held on for as long as she could. Short version, though, I have to say, she did not follow one of the rules of the internet, which is don't feed the trolls. She cared a lot about the comment section. She sanitized it, she blocked people, and she read every single comment by everybody very carefully. Yeah. And I said, look, you can't do that forever.
I have to tell people in our community too, and they're like, this person's criticizing me. I'm like, hey, listen, those people are going to criticize you. As long as you keep getting bigger and more popular, you're going to have more people criticizing you. You just learn to blow it off.
She was a triple threat. On the internet. Women get it. Yeah. That worse. It's like she was a woman, she was beautiful, she was rich. Oh yeah, by the way, she was Jewish, and thank God her last name wasn't overtly that, because it would have been way, way worse. Yeah. So it's like, okay, between those things, and she'll be fine.
Well, Mark, that's all I really have for you today, man. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I tried to get in here as an invited guest. I was going to pay a ticket. I just didn't want to get kicked out, and I heard that some people. But hey,
well, no, actually, it wouldn't. You actually would have been fine, except that Jimmy Kimmel's guys ruined it for you. You heard about what happened there? Oh my God!
I didn't hear about it.
So Jimmy Kimmel sent a team. Right, and we knew they were coming. It was like, hey, can we get press credentials? Okay, send the team, 4-man team, camera guy, sound guy, producer guy, and interview him. And it was like, great. Well, they sent a 5th guy. He went under general admission. He dressed up as one of us. He was hot mic'd, and he was walking around. He made it to my session. He started asking dumb questions. He was butting in on every interview, and he was way, way over the top. He acted like a really drunk, super enthusiastic flat earther, but no one was buying it. It was like, what is going on with this guy? Well, it took us about an hour to figure out, and when we finally did, we kicked the whole team out, and after that, Robbie was like, oh, yeah, nobody.
I emailed Robbie a few times ahead of time just to tell him, hey, I want to come in here on good faith. I'm not. Look, I know what happened with Logan Paul, and I really, when I saw that, I was like, he just ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, he did.
Because I was legitimately trying to be here to do what I'm doing with you. I wanted to do it with a few people and just kind of get a new. I draw a pretty good crowd. I draw a pretty good audience, and I do want to expose new ideas to them. And a lot of them are already set in their ways that there's no way that the Earth could be flat. There's no way that I could ever be a flat earther. But there's flat earthers out there. So somebody out there is thinking that way, and I wanted to get that train of thought to my audience without being the argumentative type, saying, oh, well, no, what about this? What about this? What about this? And that's one thing I didn't do the entire time is I didn't push my beliefs on anybody. I just wanted to get there.
Cool. Did you get some good people?
Yeah, I got a few good people. I asked Robbie. He said no. He politely.
Well, Robbie's not going.
I asked DeMarco. The moment he saw me, he was like. Which is fine. I mean, everybody's welcome to have their own. I'm not going to force myself.
Hey, again, the fact that you showed up, you get points.
All right, guys. So there you have it. My interview with Mark Sargent. Now, I do want to say that several other people were surrounding Mark Sargent and asking him for interviews at the same time I did, but he took the time out to address probably his biggest critic in the room first, and I can totally respect that. So thank you to the local Globe Earthers who came out to the conference with me, and a special thank you to Mark Sargent for giving me this interview. We'll be seeing you at the next one. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm out.
Plug the book.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Flat Earth Clues, End of the World. Just released it. There's, in fact, you know what? There's a free version for you, for all you guys. In fact, you don't have to pay anything. You don't even have to put your email. Just go to tinyurl.com, and it's FEIC2 Audio 2. One click from OneDrive. It's yours.
I'll listen to it.
Cool.
All right, Mark.
Hey.
Appreciate it. You have a great evening.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, man.